beautiful people, it's your girl Yami Shona. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, I'm glad you're here today. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. So today I'm going to be creating this look. This look is giving me summer/spring vibes. Okay, so for today's look, the first thing I'll be doing is to go ahead and do my brows, and to do that I'll be using my Nikki K eyebrow pencil. Okay, so I'm just using my brows to do the natural line. I'm just tracing my natural line. And guys, when you're doing this, don't apply too much pressure because you don't want to end up with a black, dark, fake eyebrow. So I'm just doing it gently, but you look as if I'm rushing it. I'm not. I just speed up this part because I don't want it to be too long. So now I'm just applying the products. Guys, if you look at it, you can see that I didn't put any products in the very beginning. And the purpose of doing that is because I want that place to look so natural. Now I'm just using my spoolie to brush the products in. So now I'm liking what I've done so far. I'll go ahead and use my concealer. And the concealer I'm using today is 2 to 3 shades lighter than my normal shade. So I'm using it to clean my brows. So I've done the first eye. Now I'll go ahead and do the second eye. So now I'll go ahead and take another concealer that is very close to my skin tone, and I will use that to clean the very beginning of my brows. And the purpose of using this one is because it's close to my skin tone. It will make my brows to look so natural. Then still use the same concealer to clean the upper part of my brows. Guys, please don't mind my cracking voice. I have cold, so here's my voice sounding like this. So now I'm cleaning the upper part of my brows, and I'll go ahead and do the second one. When you're doing that, you want to be gentle with it because you don't want to clean your brows you've done, okay? So now I'm done with both brows. I'll go ahead and take my buffing brush and just blend the concealer into my skin. So now the next thing to do is to go ahead and prime my face. And to do that, I'll be using this Maybelline Primer. I like this primer so much. It's drugstore primer. It's not expensive, but it always does this job. But it always do a good job. So now, the first reason why I like this primer is because it's mattifying primer. It's going to remove excess oil from my face. Then secondly, it has SPF 30 in it. It's going to protect my skin against direct sunlight. Now I'll go ahead and apply more primer into my skin. So I'll go ahead and sit for a few minutes, allow the primer to set into my skin before I go ahead and apply the next product, which is foundation. And for the foundation today, I'm using this foundation from Huda Beauty, and I'm using the shade 320. This foundation is my go-to when it comes to holy grail foundation. Every time I use this foundation, I always use just 2 pumps, and it's going to do the job so perfectly. Guys, when you're using your foundation, don't concentrate only on your face. You want to be sure that you are doing it towards your neck area, your ear lines, towards your ears, so everything can look, so you can have one shade. So my foundation is out of the way. The next thing to do is to go ahead and highlight my face. And to do that, I'll be using this Nikki K concealer to highlight my under eye, my forehead, the bridge of my nose, and my chin area. And I'll allow that to set into my skin also for a few products. Guys, to have a flawless skin, to have a perfect foundation, when you apply one product, you can wait for a few seconds so it can set into the skin before you go ahead and blend it out. Guys, try these tips. I promise you will like it. So the next thing to do is to go ahead and contour my face, and to do that, I'm using this Elegant Pro Concealer in the shade Toffee, and I'm still using the same brush that I used to blend my foundation. Now I'll go ahead and take my my damp beauty blender. Guys, do not use dry or wet beauty blender. When your beauty blender is too dry, it's going to remove all the products you're applying. Then when it is too white, it's going to wipe everything away. So don't use wet ones. You don't want everything to go, but you want to be using damp beauty blender. So now I'm taking this shade from my Professional Cosmetics, this contour and highlights palette. I'm using the middle shade to set the whole of my contour area. Now I'll go ahead and blend my contour under my eye. Guys, after blending, make sure that you go ahead and set immediately. And the purpose of doing that is to avoid creasing, okay? When you blend your highlighted area, go ahead and set it immediately. And to set the whole of my highlighted area, I'll be using this, my powder from Laura Mercier. So now I'll go ahead and use my finished powder and set the whole of my face. Guys, when you're using your powder, do not put it under your eye, because you don't want too much product under your eye to avoid creasing. Because if you already put your foundation, your concealer, then your setting powder, do not apply any product again. Don't put your finished powder under your eye. So now I'll go ahead and do my blush, then use my beauty blender to do my reverse contour. Now I'll go ahead and contour my nose. So after everything is done, I'll go ahead and set the whole of my face. And the purpose of setting your face is to remove all the powdery products, so everything can set in and look so real. You know, the powder and everything, when you set it, everything will sit together on your face. Now I'll go ahead and do my eye. And to do that, I'm using my concealer as my primer. Just the way you prime your face, you want to be sure that you are priming your eye before you apply your eyeshadow. So I'll be using the same shade that I used from the contour palette to do my transitional shade. You can use your eyeshadow, you can use anything. Guys, when it comes to makeup, you can always implement, you can improvise. Just know what you are doing. Just play around makeups to get a good results, okay? So now I'm just pinning up this place because I'm doing the same thing over again. I'm just going forth and back and use the same shade on my transitional part. So now I'll go ahead and take this eyeshadow palette from Morphe. It's 9H palette. I will use the orange shade in the palette to cover the whole of my lid. This is matte eyeshadow. It's not shimmery, so I will use it to cover the whole of my lid. Now I'm doing the second eye. And that's all I'll be doing to my eye today. That's all. So now I'm using the brown shade in the outer part of my eyelid. So now I'm using my Ben Eye Clone White. It's like concealer under my waterline. So I'm going to be covering the whole of my waterline with this white. So now I'll go in the same palette. From the same palette, I'll use this lemon eyeshadow on my waterline. And that will serve as my eyeliner today. So I want to be sure that I cover the whole of the white stuff with the lemon shadow. So now the eye is out of the way. I'll go ahead and do my lip. And to do that, I'll be using this pencil from Morphe. It's Date Night. Then go ahead into my lip palette and use the lightest shade, the pink one, all over my lip. And apply my lip gloss. Now I'm trying to apply my lashes. We are almost coming to the end of today's tutorial. So guys, if you're seeing this guy for the very first time, go ahead and click on the subscribe button and don't forget to click on the bell. I see a lot of people just subscribing. Guys, when you subscribe, don't forget to click on the bell, because that bell will always give you notification whenever I have a new video. Thanks for the love. I really appreciate it. I do not take everything for granted. Okay, baby girl is done. She fixed her hair, she shaved her shirt, and she's ready to step out of the house. Okay, love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my very next one. Bye. Peace.